The Nobel Peace Prize has become a detonating explosive political device used by Western leaders. The Swedish Alfred Nobel was the inventor of dynamite.
You see, Nobel was the inventor of dynamite, which had been turned into a powerful and deadly weapon.
He was a chemist, engineer, and industrialist. Notably, the Nobel Prize was created by him in his last will and testament, signed in 1895.
He decided he wanted to leave behind a better legacy than the one in his obituary. So, in his will, he instructed that his large fortune be used for 5 prizes that would go to people who had, in his words, conferred the greatest benefit on mankind.
Because he willed most of his fortune to establish awards to reward human excellence in physics, chemistry, literature, medicine, and peace. But he wanted his wealth to reward and honor those who benefited humanity greatly through their societal contribution.
With the exception of the Peace Prize, the Nobel Prizes must be awarded to individuals, not institutions. Here's a few that you might have heard of: Marie Curie, Albert Einstein, Winston Churchill, Martin Luther King Jr., Mother Teresa, and Nelson Mandela.
But it is the Nobel Committee's Peace Prize decisions which have become politically explosive. Because the Nobel Peace Prize for 2025 has been explosively awarded to the Venezuelan opposition political leader, Maria Corina Machado. The Nobel Peace Prize awarded to Machado has all the ingredients of political meddling by Western countries to bring about a regime change in Venezuela.
The Norwegian Nobel Committee has decided to award the Nobel Peace Prize for 2025 to Maria Corina Machado. She is receiving the Nobel Peace Prize for her tireless work promoting democratic rights for the people of Venezuela and for her struggle to achieve a just and peaceful transition from dictatorship to democracy.
But Venezuela, as a country with large oil reserves, is a political and economic target of Western leaders to gain control over its petroleum wealth.
Try to orchestrate regime change in Venezuela.
What's the strategic advantage?
There's no strategic advantage. Venezuela has the world's largest oil reserves.
Venezuela has the world's largest proven oil reserves, totaling approximately 300 billion barrels of oil. The Western countries tried to topple the socialist leader, Victor Chavez, who governed Venezuela from 1999 to 2013. As a socialist, Chavez opposed Western domination and interference in Venezuela's internal affairs. Because Victor Chavez was a very populist leader, loved by many Venezuelans. Therefore, they could not topple Victor Chavez to bring about regime change. But the current Venezuelan leader and president, Nicolas Maduro, does not have the charisma of Chavez. Therefore, President Maduro is a likely candidate of regime change, motivated by Western political leaders. Because President Trump and other Western leaders desperately want to topple President Maduro. But they are trying to do so by any means necessary. Therefore, the Nobel Peace Prize awarded to the Venezuelan opposition political leader Machado is being used as a political weapon to overthrow Maduro. The Nobel Peace Prize has become a blunt political instrument used by Western countries and their leaders to remove from office those leaders opposing Western control and domination. Therefore, it is likely the next country to be targeted with a weaponized Nobel Peace Prize to bring about regime change could be Iran. Distortedly, Alfred Nobel's noble intent to award excellence has become a soft power political tool in the hands of Western countries and their leaders. This is a political mistake which must be corrected in 2026 by the Swedish committee making the awards.